there, friends and sane persons, and welcome to another episode of Wednesday Whimsy. My name is Kyle, and Wednesday Whimsy is a short show that I do every Wednesday evening where I talk about a board game, a top 10 list, or some other topic, whatever happens to be on my mind at the moment. Well, what I have for you this week, I have been talking about end-of-year stuff. I did quarterly countdown. It's been a whole lot of lists, and I haven't been able to talk about any games that I like for a while, so I am talking about a game that, spoilers, I like. If you watched my end-of-year lists, you'll know that it was on the end-of-year list. I think it was the number one from the quarterly countdown. This game is just the top of the box, Tend. You'll see it's a bright, shiny, sparkly box because of the foiling. It's just the box top because the box is huge. This is a huge game, you can see. I mean, just imagine it, full. It's a huge game, but what it is really a kind of a roll and write style game with very little rolling, but a whole lot of writing, more flip and write. And it's an interesting one. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I think about it and tell you my thoughts. Let's go. So what is it about? Well, honestly, I'm not sure I can tell you because it's not a particularly strong theme. Well, I guess the theme is strong, but the theme that you're given is not. So it says that you're working for Zenith Corporation, which is a totally not evil corporation, and you're on an alien world, and you're a pioneer, and you're trying to establish a homestead and send goods back to the Zenith Corporation. That's what it's about. Really, it's about farming, fishing, mining, and chopping. So let's talk about how does it work. All right. So a good portion of the game is going to be, let me see if I can add a screen share here. Let's come over. You don't want to see this. Yeah, so a good portion of what we're trying to do here is to fill up a cargo manifest. So this is an example of the cargo manifest. It's this board. It's I guess a 12 by 8 square, and you're going to be putting in these goods, and you actually use stamps. At least I guess you could draw them normally, but the version I have has stamps on it, and so when you get a good, it's going to be a Tetris shape, and you're going to stamp it in. At the end of the game, you're going to get 1 point for each square you filled, except for some special ones. Like over here, in this middle section that I'm showing you here, every mining good, every yellow good is going to be worth 2 points. Whereas over here on the right side, every farm good is going to be worth 0. So, based on where you put things, they're going to be worth differing amounts of points. And so you're going to want to try and fill it up as efficiently as possible, because that's going to be a lot of points. There's also going to be goals that you're trying to get, and there are these badges that you're trying to accomplish as well. Badges are, they're things you can cross off on a board. Here's an example. You'll see, for example, if you cross off this generalist badge, meaning you get all of these goods, this is an earlier version, it looks like. If you cross off all of these goods, you're going to get 20 points. You have to fill in any 2 rows. There are also these other projects, but mostly what you're going to be doing in the game is getting goods and then figuring out what to do with them. And a good portion of that is, that's what the game is really about, is trying to figure out what you're going to do with these goods. There aren't really turns in the game. Instead, it's rounds, and in each round there's going to be a row of action cards. For example, here's a good example of a round 3 potential setup, and we've got these actions. So there's chopping is available. There's tending, chopping, or fishing with a bonus action. There's chopping and fishing. There's always some combination of tending, chopping, fishing, and mining. That's mining, sorry. And you're going to select 2 of these. So this is over here. This one here that I'm showing on the left is a basic chopping action. You just do a chopping action and you're done. Whereas this one here in the middle, it's going to be one of the top 3 things. And then if you've completed 2 columns in that cargo manifest, you also get a bonus good. Sometimes there's a bonus action. There's always bonuses, and a good portion of what you're doing in the game is trying to get these bonuses to work for you. So that's kind of what you do. You're going to pick 2 of those, and then you'll move on to the next round. All 5 of these will clear off. You can see the 2 that are coming up next, and then the other 3 are kind of shuffled up randomly, so things that come in will come in again. This is probably the last round of the game, or the second to the last round based on the setup. In fact, I can tell it's the last round because there's only 3 round 3s in the game, but that's neither here nor there. And so you're going to be, let's talk about the different actions you can do. The chopping action and the mining action are going to use this little scratch board here. And so when you do a chopping action, you're going to scratch a square off of the top one, either touching the top row or adjacent to something else. You do a mining action, you cross something off with a mining action. There are bonuses by getting to the bottom of the tracks, and you're going to unlock various bonuses, which are usually goods and resources as you scratch things off. The fishing action, you can also see here, you're going to roll 2 dice and get the good that's on the space where those intersect. If you don't like the chances of that, you can unlock these fishing rods, which give you sort of a bigger area that you can pick something from. So you have better chances that you're not going to bust when you fish, which is always good. And there's other fishing ponds you can unlock. The last one that you can do, that's the 3 of the main actions. The 4th one is tending, and tending is going to be on a farm over here. Here we can see an example of the farm. And it's going to be building it's going to be gaining, gaining plants, tilling fields, or watering your plants to make them grow. You can also use resources to build these fences, and once you have fences, you can take animals, and the animal and plant dice every round, they're going to tick up and give you a resource every couple of rounds. So it's going to be another way to get stuff. And that's kind of what you do. If it sounds a little kind of confused, it's because it's a little confusing, but it's pretty easy once you get into it. You're just going to do that for 12 rounds, and then you're going to add up your points. There's going to have been goals throughout the game. Oh, and neighbors. I didn't show you this, but you're going to have a neighbor card, a card for each of your neighbors, and it's really like a side quest. It's like, get this resource, and if you get this resource, you give it to your neighbor, the player on either side of you, and then you get to cross off some sections on another track, which will get you points if you gave away more than you got. And you'll also get access to interesting bonuses that are worth the cost of benefiting your opponents. And you're going to add up points from your cargo manifest, from your neighbor bonuses, from the badges you've completed, and then from the 3 round goals that will come up every few rounds that you're going to score. And they're usually, have crossed off this, or have access to something, or have a certain type of resource in your cargo manifest, something like that. And then at the end, you'll see who wins. So what makes this special? Well, this is probably the best of the roll and write games. And this is, I really like Hadrian's Wall and Anarchy, but this one's better. There's just so much you can do. There's 59 resources. And, you initially, the first time I played it, I'm like, okay, what do I do with this? And you kind of have to get your head around, oh, it's just a resource. What do I do with it? I find something to do. I look at my cargo manifest. Oh, it can be this shape. I can turn it in for coins. Oh, I can give it to my neighbor. I can put it towards this badge. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things coming in, but everything is just a good, and you can do something with it. And once you realize that, the complexity sort of melts away and allows you to kind of think, okay, I can do a lot of things, and all I'm going to do is get stuff, and then I want to use the stuff for something. And so I really like that it has sort of a veneer of complexity without being super complicated once you get there. Another thing I like is that you're really just doing 4 different actions. You only have to learn 4 actions. There's only 4 things you can do on your turn, and you're going to do 2 of them. And it might be the same thing twice, but there's really just 4 things to focus on, and you don't have time to do everything efficiently, so you might just want to focus on 1 or 2. I've had games when I have not tended at all. I have games when I've spent my entire time filling my field with vegetables and just sort of raked in the points. A lot of that is kind of governed. Another thing I like is your cargo manifest tells you, okay, this is a good thing to focus on. You might want to focus on farming goods. If you don't want to, you don't have to. You're not wed to that strategy. You do what you want. But there's enough sort of a direction there that you're thinking, okay, this seems like a good thing to do. I'm going to farm this game, and I'm going to get 4 of every vegetable, and I'm going to use a tend action and just reap everything in. And I'm going to fill up my cargo manifest in just 1 turn. Or I'm going to go for all these badges. Or I just want to fish, and I want to unlock the grotto fishing and the lake fishing and the river fishing so that I have access to all the fish, and I'm going to fish all game. Or it can be I'm going to chop and or mine, and you can specialize in whatever you want. I like that there's things you can upgrade. You can not upgrade. You can just do what comes in, but you kind of want to. You want an upgraded equipment because it lets you double your efficiency in the game, and I like that. I like that this game is simultaneous. If you had to wait for everybody's turn, it would be rough. But because everyone's doing their 2 actions, and the actions are usually pretty quick, you just sort of set up, do your actions, and you're on to the next round. And everybody, when they're done, they flip their little card that says I'm done, or they say I'm done, and you're ready to go. There's not a whole lot of waiting around. Now, we'll talk about in a moment some of the last rounds. That's not true, but especially early in the game, it's real lightning fast, and it's simultaneous, and it feels really good. The game is also constantly rewarding you. I love sort of getting things. Everything you do in this game gets you something. And if you have an idea and a plan of what to do with that something, you can make every turn super valuable. You only have 12, and only 24 main actions in the game, but you can do a lot with them. And once you realize that, you sort of take control of this, and it becomes less about sort of flipping and more about kind of charting your destiny and hoping that the randomness cooperates with you, but really taking control. I also really love the scratch cards. I thought I would hate them because I've played games like Plank Legacy 2 had terrible scratch cards, and Pandemic Legacy 0 had terrible scratch cards. These are really well made. They are easy to scratch, they don't make a huge mess, and the game comes with these nice little coins that you can use to scratch them off, so it's not a problem. But if you don't like scratching, you can click online and you can go there. I think there's a QR code in the rule book, or you can just search it online, and you can go and the game will provide you a sort of digital scratch card, and you can scratch it on your phone. You just tap and it scratches things for you. And that's nice because it doesn't let you make mistakes. So I really think those are a fun mechanism. I don't want to see them in more games, but they really work in this one. So those are some special things. Oh, also the game's just a lot of fun. And I like a game that's a lot of fun. So where's the but? I really only have a couple. One of them is, I mentioned it earlier, the last round can kind of drag. And that's because as you fill your cargo manifest, you start getting access to lots of bonus actions. And so you might, on your last turn, instead of your 2 actions that you're normally doing, you might do 5 or 6. And if only one person has the 5 or 6 actions, and everyone else is sitting around, that can be a little draggy. Or if someone kind of wants to AP it, that last round can be a little rough. Also, toward the end of the game, because of the way the cargo manifest rules work, you can't put like goods touching each other. And so if you have a whole bunch of mining goods that come in the last round, you might not be able to do very much with them. Or if you get a whole lot of money for some reason in the last round of the game, it's essentially worthless. So you want to sort of make sure you plan for that. So it is possible that even though you have a lot of things coming in, you may be less able to do things with some of the things you get that last round of the game if you haven't planned well. But yeah, that's kind of about it. Also, the box is really big. My version, I think, goes up to 12 players. Even though it's simultaneous, I don't think I'd ever play this at 12. I think that's too many people. But at solo, this is fantastic. 2 players, it's fantastic. 3 and 4, it's pretty good. I've not played it with more than 4, and I just don't think I will. But I really enjoy it. Also, those stamps are really satisfying. I don't think they come with every version, but they're worth it. It's just a simple stamp, and it's the symbol in color, and it fits perfectly in that cargo manifest. That should be under the what makes it special, not where's the but. But I just really like this game. So where do I come out on it? Well, it's called Tend, and I give it a 10 out of 10. It's just great. This is the kind of game I want to play, and it's the kind of game I always want to play. And it's the kind of game that I think someone's coming over, I think, I could set up Tend. It doesn't take long to set up. The rules seem complicated but quickly fade away. And everyone's always engaged, and it's just so satisfying. It really shows what this genre of games can do. It is definitely the best game from IV Studios. And I just want more for it. I don't know what more I want. I don't need another 5 goods, but or actions, but it's just the kind of game I'd love to see spin-offs of this that offer new things. I really like Tend, and I can see myself playing it for a very long time. And I can see myself soloing it. It's a great game just to sort of sit there, an evening, and I'm like, well, I don't want to set up something complicated, and I'm alone. I can play Tend. I just really like Tend, and it is worth your time. This is a game, if there were an app version, I would play this thing all the time. Even though there's not, I still play it a lot, and I think this is one. Look, it's expensive. but if you can find someone who has a copy, go out and try it. I think you're really going to like this one. It's going to be the kind of game that maybe your first time's a little rough to go through, but once you've gone through it one time, you're going to think, this is something pretty amazing. I want to play that again. So there you go. 10 out of 10 for 10, and that's another episode of Wednesday Whimsy in the bag for us. So, yeah, I'm going to be back next year. I think next week. I forget what I'm talking about. It's a list again. I sent it to Ilya. I'm wondering if I can... I'm wondering what it was. It was... Oh, yes. Flypaper games. We'll have fun with that one. And then I'll be back to talk about some more things in the future. But until then, I hope you'll come back and join me. Until then, I'm going to wish you safe travels, courage when you need it, and I hope to see you back again soon on another episode of Wednesday Whimsy. Bye-bye.